Dan Pena's take on mastering emotional self-control. Let me tell you this, folks. Have you ever felt like your emotions were running wild, uncontrollable, and completely out of your hands? Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to lash out at someone, but then you caught yourself and said, "Wait, what am I doing?" That's exactly the kind of struggle Dan Pena talks about in his take on mastering emotional self-control. Let me tell you, it's not just a skill you can pick up overnight. It's a journey that involves understanding, practice, and patience. But here's something you should know. This journey isn't just about controlling your emotions. It's about understanding them and ultimately learning how to use them to your advantage. So, let's dive into Dan Pena's take on this complex yet rewarding endeavor. You might be wondering, how does one even begin to control their emotions? Well, it starts with acknowledging that your emotions exist, and they're a natural part of being human. Dan Pena explains, emotions are like the weather, they come and go, sometimes unexpectedly. This realization alone can be liberating because it means you don't have to fight against your feelings. You can simply observe them. Now let's talk about a real-life example. Imagine you're sitting in a meeting, and suddenly someone says something that makes you feel disrespected. Your first instinct might be to get defensive or angry, but instead, Dan Pena suggests taking a deep breath and acknowledging that you're feeling hurt. You can say to yourself, "Okay, I'm feeling hurt right now, but I need to stay calm and respond thoughtfully." This simple act of acknowledging your feelings can help you manage them better. But controlling emotions isn't just about not reacting impulsively. It's also about knowing when to react. Dan Pena emphasizes the importance of mindfulness and being present in the moment. He says, when we're mindful, we're more aware of our thoughts and feelings, and we can choose how to respond rather than react automatically. This mindfulness allows you to make decisions based on logic and reason rather than letting your emotions cloud your judgment. One of the most compelling aspects of Dan Pena's approach is the concept of emotional intelligence. He believes that having a high level of emotional intelligence is crucial for mastering emotional self-control. Emotional intelligence involves understanding and managing your own emotions, as well as recognizing and responding appropriately to the emotions of others. It's about being empathetic and compassionate towards others while still maintaining your own emotional balance. A personal anecdote from Dan Pena illustrates this point beautifully. He shares how he used to be quite impulsive and often reacted to situations based on his immediate emotions. However, after years of practice and learning about emotional intelligence, he transformed into someone who could handle challenging situations with grace and composure. It wasn't easy, but every time I managed to control my emotions, I felt a sense of pride and accomplishment, he says. And it wasn't just about being better at handling difficult people. It was about being a better version of myself. Another important aspect of mastering emotional self-control is learning to forgive yourself. We all make mistakes, and we all have moments when we lose control of our emotions. Dan Pena reminds us that it's okay to acknowledge these moments and learn from them. He suggests that instead of beating ourselves up for our failures, we should focus on moving forward and growing from those experiences. Forgiving yourself is not about excusing your behavior, but about releasing the negative emotions that hold you back, he explains. To further illustrate this point, let's consider a scenario where you've made a mistake at work. You may feel embarrassed or ashamed, but instead of dwelling on it, Dan Pena would encourage you to reflect on what went wrong and what you could do differently next time. This process of self-reflection helps you grow and become more resilient, making it easier to handle future challenges with emotional self-control. So, what can you do to start mastering your emotional self-control? Here are a few practical steps. Firstly, practice mindfulness daily. Set aside a few minutes each day to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and focus on your thoughts and feelings. This practice will help you become more attuned to your emotions and better equipped to manage them. Secondly, engage in regular self-reflection. Take some time each week to review your interactions and emotions. Ask yourself questions like, what triggered my reaction today? And how did I handle the situation? By reflecting on your experiences, you'll gain valuable insights into your emotional patterns and learn to recognize triggers. Thirdly, cultivate empathy. Try to put yourself in other people's shoes and understand their perspectives. This will not only improve your relationships, but also help you respond more compassionately to others' emotions. Lastly, seek support when needed. Don't hesitate to reach out to friends, family, or professionals if you find it challenging to manage your emotions. Sometimes, talking things through can provide new perspectives and strategies for coping. In conclusion, mastering emotional self-control is a journey that requires patience, practice, and self-awareness. It's about understanding your emotions, managing them effectively, and using them to your advantage. As Pena puts it, emotional self-control is not about suppressing your feelings. It's about understanding them and using them to guide your actions. Embrace this journey, and you'll find that your relationships, mental health, and overall well-being will benefit immensely. Remember, every step you take towards mastering your emotions is a step towards becoming the best version of yourself.